Hi, my name is Pocahontas and today, my friend Johnny and myself will tell you some proverbs that are well known and spoken around the world.
Viewing today's world, what do you think God would say?
Too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
What are some Native American proverbs?
If you see no reason for giving thanks, the fault lies in yourself. Witches mean kawas. It's impossible to awaken someone who is pretending to be asleep. Witches, Navajo, according to John Perry Barlow. Man has responsibility, not power. Witches, Tuscarora. Talk to your children while they are eating. What you say will stay even after you are gone. Which is said by Nez Perce. What are some proverbs spoken in the Spanish culture?
Okay, first you will hear the interpreter speak, then text will appear on the screen of what the interpreter has spoken. Then, I or Pocahontas will tell you some translations of the proverbs in English and then text will appear, telling you what was said. Okay, Mr. Interpreter, tell us some in Spanish.
A mucho decir, mucho mentir. Cría cuervos y te sacarán los ojos. De mala mata, nunca buena zarza. Dios aprieta, pero no ahorca. Entre broma y broma, la verdad se asoma. Favor con favor se paga. Gallina vieja hace buen caldo. Más discurre un hambriento que 100 letrados. Mientras en mi casa estoy, rey soy. No hay miel sin miel. Palabras de boca, piedra de onda. Una vez al año no hace daño.
It loses meaning in translation, but here is what was just said in Spanish interpreted by me into English. Too much to say, very much to lie. It raises crows, and the eyes will extract you. Of bad bush, never good bramble. God is too tight, but it does not hang. Between prank and prank, the truth appears. Favor with favor is paid. Old hen does good broth. More the hungry one thinks up than does 100 lawyers. Meanwhile, in my house, I am king, I am. There is no honey without bile. Words of mouth, stone of sling. Once a year it does not hurt. Okay, Mr. Interpreter, tell us some more in Spanish.
A quien buen árbol se arrima, buena sombra le acarece.
Here is the literal translation of what was just said in Spanish. He who gets close to a good tree will have a good shade.
What does that mean?
Sometimes I will tell you what a proverb may mean and sometimes not. Sometimes it is better to let others think what a proverb may mean. But here is what I feel this particular proverb means. If you associate with good people, good things will happen to you. Okay, Mr. Interpreter, tell us some more in Spanish.
Crea fama y acuéstate a dormir.
Once you build a good or bad reputation, it stays forever. Okay, Mr. Interpreter, tell us some more in Spanish.
Dime con quién andas y te diré quién eres.
Tell me who you hang out with and I'll tell you who you are. Okay, Mr. Interpreter, tell us some more in Spanish.
El que a hierro mata a hierro muere.
The literal translation is one that does bad will pay before he or she dies the same way. This time I will tell you what many others think this proverb means. The old proverb. He who lives by the sword, dies by the sword. Okay, Mr. Interpreter, tell us some more in Spanish.
Ojos que no ven, corazón que no siente.
What the eyes do not see, the heart does not feel. Okay, now we will ask our Japanese interpreter. She is from Tokyo and will tell us some proverbs and Pocahontas will interpret and translate into English.
Okay.
悪妻は100年老不咲き。
A bad wife spells 100 years of bad harvest.
虎穴に入らずんだ腰も得ず。
If you do not enter the tiger's cave, you will not catch its cub. Melon field, under a plum tree.
Now let's talk with Katerina, our Russian friend.
Баба сразу к белых.
It is easier for the mare when a woman gets off the cart.
Беда никогда не приходит одна.
Trouble never comes alone. Or the English version is better known as, when it rains, it pours.
Now let's talk to our German friend, Mr. Schwartz.
In der Not frisst der Teufel Fliegen.
When he has to, the devil eats flies.
And now we will talk with our French friend, Mademoiselle Marie Claire.
À chaque oiseau son nid est beau.
Every bird thinks his nest the finest.
À chemin battu il ne croit point d'herbe.
Grass doesn't grow on a busy street.
Ami de plusieurs, ami de nul.
Friend of many, friend of none.
Chacun est artisan de sa fortune.
Each one is a craftsman of his own fortune.
And now let's hear from our Chinese friend Mrs. Lu.
天下无不散之筵席，
All good things must come to an end.
五十步笑百步，
The pot calls the kettle black.
Now let's hear from our Korean friend, Mrs. Yomekoi.
소 잃고 오이엔 캔 카친다.
After losing a cow, one repairs the barn.
중젠 미다이 유덥다.
Underneath the lamp base is dark.
Now we will speak with our Swedish friend, Magnus.
Man märker andras fel och glömmer sina egna.
We notice faults of others and easily forget our own.
Döm ej allt du ser, tro ej allt du hör, gör ej allt du kan, säg ej allt du vet, förtär ej allt du har, låt ingen veta vad du har i hjärtat eller pungen.
Do not judge all you see. Do not believe all you hear. Do not do all you can. Do not say all you know. Do not eat all you have. Let no one know what you have in your heart or in your wallet.
Now we will speak with our Turkish friend. She is from Istanbul.
Ağaçya fikene ilir.
The green twig is easily bent.
Bekarlık sultanlıktır.
I will tell you the translation of this Turkish proverb. There is no sovereignty like bachelorhood. Now we will tell you some Christian proverbs.
If God brings you to it, He will bring you through it.
Those who walk with God reach their destination.
When you are down to nothing, God is up to something.
Growing old is inevitable. Growing up is optional.
Be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. Said by John Wooden.
The good news, God is a nag. God won't give up. If we are destined to carry out some divine idea, we won't be able to shrug it off. For me, God doesn't just whisper within. If I'm supposed to get a message, I start to see it and hear it everywhere. Books, sermons, television shows, conversations with friends.
Focus on the positive in your life, for what you focus on increases.
Peace, joy, health and well-being could only be found inside us. They exist within us now, waiting to be discovered. Yet we tend to look to the outside world to satisfy our needs and longings.
When we encounter someone greater than ourselves, turn your thoughts to becoming his equal. When you encounter someone lesser than you, look within and examine your own self.
Now we will talk about international proverbs again.
Here are some proverbs from Argentina.
A man who develops himself is born twice. No woman can make a wise man out of a fool, but every woman can change a wise man into a fool.
Here are some from Mexico. A good resolution is like an old horse, which is often saddled but rarely ridden.
A person born to be a flowered pot will not go beyond the porch.
Here are some from Australia.
A bad worker blames his tools.
Don't blow your own trumpet.
We have covered 5 of the 6 inhabitable continents. Yes, there are 7 continents, but only 6 of them have a population. We will conclude this presentation by letting the viewer know about some African proverbs. An old woman is always uneasy when dry bones are mentioned in a proverb. A man who pays respect to the great paves the way for his own greatness. A proud heart can survive a general failure because such a failure does not prick its pride. As the dog said, "If I fall down for you and you fall down for me, it is playing." A wise man who knows proverbs reconciles difficulties. Do not look where you fell, but where you slipped. If a child washes his hands, he could eat with kings. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for something. It takes a whole village to raise a child. Thank you for spending close to 10 minutes learning with us about proverbs spoken around the world.